still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, bringing information to enhance one's quality of life. And we are sponsored by Advanced Audiology and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Today on our show we have, and a Happy New Year to everybody, and you too, Mary.
Happy New Year to you.
Dymkowski from Oakmont Senior Living. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
It's a great new year.
Isn't
it? 2017.
Can't
we
believe
have
it.
to sit back and say, gee, what's in store for all of us, whether it be politically or economically, and, living for our seniors. That's a huge facet of life here now in Santa Clarita, isn't it?
And we're so fortunate to have the roles that we do to help our seniors in this community, and it's just an exciting year.
No doubt about that. Now, most people who are listening have an idea of how they might see themselves living in a year or 5 years. There are caregivers, the kids of the parents who are out there who are saying, no, we don't. We're not sure where they're going to be. But, that becomes a struggle, I think, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
For some of the family members and our seniors looking to the future and saying, hey, how do I go about figuring out what I'm going to do with my loved one? So Oakmont, though, it's assisted living. And what it means is that it's not a nursing home. This is a place where you are independent. You have your own apartment. There's a common eating area, but you're living literally independently. But the shift is from living in your home and transitioning into like an apartment, isn't it?
It's really transitioning into, a smaller home, most likely, not always, but and also living in a close-knit community. So it is an adjustment, and at Oakmont, we want to be a resource for our families. We want to be able to share with them the options that are out there, whether it be moving to an assisted living or starting with some in-home care, but just educating, is first. Educating our families on what's available and seeing if Oakmont, might be a good fit either now or in the future to be prepared.
Yeah, and that's a great word, prepared, because people understand there's a point in life where our seniors might get to where they cannot live at home if they're living alone or even with their spouse. And being aware of some of the signs and symptoms that one might start to see in their parents that say, hey, maybe they can't live alone. For instance, they don't drive anymore, some of them, and they can't shop, and they're not then eating right. I mean, these are some of the things. Anything else, Mary, that you can point out to the caregivers out there who are listening and saying, is my loved one in that situation now?
Right. And definitely, the things that you mentioned, that, not being able to drive, that lack of independence to be able to go out and do the things that you used to do. And, sometimes it's just things that you start to see slowly, and other times it can happen very quickly. Say someone has a fall and, breaks the hip, and now it's not really a good idea for them to go back home. So sometimes it happens pretty quick, and being prepared and having a plan can just take so much stress off the families. So, knowing, should mom or dad not be able to live alone, what are our options? What is best for them? So start exploring and start looking at communities and educating yourself on what options there are out there.
And remember that memory can start to become a problem.
Yes.
And taking care of oneself, washing your clothes, vacuuming your home, things like that, other than just not being able to drive, that can easily become problematic. Medicines is a big deal. Taking prescribed medications correctly can become a problem. And certainly seniors run into that, and the caregivers and the kids start realizing, hey, maybe dad's not taking the medicine right.
Exactly.
So these are things that we have to look for. So moving into Oakmont for many of our seniors is downsizing. It's contracting and getting smaller, and actually, I think the studies have shown that you live really in only 20 to 30% of your space.
That's correct.
You don't really, you have a home and might be 1,200 square feet, but you're living in 300 to 400 square feet of it, and that's it. So, to downsize to a smaller area of living is for most of our seniors is not that hard. Giving up some of the mementos that we have in life can be, but you've seen them come in, haven't you, Mary?
And you're absolutely right. When the kids are gone and now you're in the home alone, you are just living in maybe one or two rooms. And so at Oakmont, we try to provide, or can provide resources. There's some great companies in Santa Clarita that can help seniors downsize and help them choose those, like you said, those important things, those items that are precious to them that they want to take with them, or having the family take them and taking that stress off of moving. And of course, when they come into Oakmont, we're also sensitive to what they're going through and the fact that they are leaving their home that they may have lived in for 30, 40, or 50 years. But now we're providing a whole new world for them that's exciting, and it's safe, and they can thrive in a great environment.
But that they need reassurance because of the change. How, to adapt and to make that change is not an easy task, because I will tell all the caregivers out there, your loved ones will be resistant no matter what. There are a few that say, I got to, shoehorn me into Oakmont. And that's great. But for the most part, they're sitting back and going, I'm not moving. I've lived here for 40 years. This is my home. This is where, I've lived. I've raised my children here. No, I'm not moving.
And I think a lot of times our seniors don't really have an understanding of what a place like Oakmont or a luxurious senior living is like. In their mind, they may be thinking of what they experienced when their parents were older, nursing homes, or, they don't really have a clear picture of what their life could be like at a community like Oakmont. So that's why we encourage families to bring your loved ones by, have them have lunch, have them talk to some of the other residents, because really everyone is mostly coming from the same situation. And I think when they can connect with other residents, that's very helpful.
And the picture at Oakmont is not a nursing home.
Right. Not at all.
It is a very active place. Yes. And there are some simple things like transportation. You can go out and shop. You can go to your health care provider and get your medical care. But there are many other things that, I know that Oakmont helps the seniors participate in, but it also allows them to make it their home.
Exactly. So, like you said, we provide those, basic services of taking them to their doctor appointments and taking them out shopping, but we also have such a wide range of activities. And one of the new programs that we're just implementing in January that I wanted to share real quick, if I can, is we're calling it Oakmont University. So of course, we feel that learning is a lifelong thing, and we should never stop learning. So this program was implemented by our activity director, and it's with a lovely woman called Merle Goldberg, and it's an 8-week series. And the first series is on January 12th. And we're going to be talking about 3 women ran for president of the United States before Hillary Clinton, 2 in the 19th century and 1 in the 20th. They were all either infamous or admired in their lifetimes, but long forgotten. So we're going to talk about that. She's going to talk about that with the residents.
Do you know who they were?
I do not, so I need to attend.
Okay.
I
I think I can rattle some
Do you?
off. But yeah, I'm trying to. I'll start. To pry my brain a little bit here. But
And that's exactly
a
what we
great.
do.
That is a
Yes.
great topic, and it
Yes.
stimulates the mind. And
and then we'll get into a little bit more of well-traveled destinations in the world that maybe people didn't even know about. We're calling it the armchair traveler, and so it's going to be really exciting. And so that's just one of the many different types of activities that we provide at Oakmont.
But
Education.
constant learning.
Constant
People
learning.
think that you stop learning and stop adapting and stop adjusting. That never happens. Our seniors tell me this every day. I talk to my patients and, they say, yeah, I just love the fact that I use a computer now.
Yes.
I love the fact that the encyclopedia, I had to yank it out and go through the pages alphabetically and figure out, and get the information that way. Now I just get on Google and, I've got that info right in front of me, and it allows me to move forward in life and learn about everything that's going on.
And they have more time on their hands now to do those things. So, we find that they're very, very excited about this type of program and just continuing learning and keeping their mind stimulated and engaged, which is so important.
Now, another important facet, and I know my mom still lives at home. She's 95 years old, and one of her pride and joys is her garden. She loves the garden.
Yes.
And she doesn't use a lawnmower, and we don't, but she actually cuts grass with a shears, and she gets down on her knees and she cuts her grass that way. And it gives her something to do as she picks out the weeds and things like that. But, that's a part of her life. But that is a part of Oakmont as well.
We do have we call it our gardening club, and we have, as on part of our community, we have 6 raised garden beds. So the residents can plant vegetables, flowers, whatever they like, and can go out and tend to them. And we also provide that same opportunity in our memory care community. We have one gentleman that takes care of that garden. He's an outdoor man, and every time I walk down to memory care, there I find him either watering or just puttering around in the garden area. So we definitely bring that to the community because we know that a lot of people love to garden and work in the yard.
We're talking with Mary Demkowski from Oakmont about a senior living there, but one of the things that I think is important, you mentioned memory care. Memory care in terms of we see now it's out there, Alzheimer's and dementia and, affecting one's life and, shooing them out of their homes. But you have an area in Oakmont which allows those who are having some problems to be in a living situation that still allows them to thrive.
Yes, we have a wonderful community. Oakmont's community for memory care is called Traditions, and it is a part of our community, but it caters to the needs of those that have the more advanced memory issues that just need that little bit more guidance throughout their day and need to be engaged. We find that if we keep our residents busy and engaged, they're happier. They are less likely to get agitated. They sleep better. So we bring in exercise. We take them on walks. We take them out on scenic drives. We have trivia and music and a bird aviary. So lots of stimulation in addition to the care that we provide for them. Of course, meeting those everyday needs that a lot of times our memory care residents are no longer able to make decisions. So we're there. Our staff is there to help them throughout their day, but have them have a productive day.
And speaking of memory, I think one of my memory neuron cells was stimulated. I think Shirley Chisholm is one of the ladies who ran for president, and I think there was
very good.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. And
we'll find out.
The date of that is January the 12th, where you will get all that information, which I think is important. But families worry that their loved ones are going to be absorbed into a system that is maybe not good. You have a lot of family input there, though, don't you?
Absolutely. Our families in both communities, assisted living as well as memory care, are so involved, and that's what we want. This is a team effort. It's the families, it's us, giving the best possible care for their loved ones. So our families are invited always to come to the community, to participate in activities. It's an open door policy. So we have our families are wonderful and very involved.
Well, caregivers, family members, and seniors themselves have to be aware of options that they have for the future. And as you said, Mary, it can happen at a moment's notice. Things can change in life. And what I've seen with my patients is they adapt. When things do happen, they adapt. They make the adjustment and then move forward. Yes. Figure out what they need to do. And what this show and your presentation today was about was allowing people to hear that there's an option.
Absolutely.
And certainly Oakmont Senior Living is an option for us, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes, it is. And we're very proud of our community. And thank you for inviting me this morning.
You are very welcome. For those who don't know where Oakmont is, it overlooks Magic Mountain. It's on Newhall Ranch Road, heading toward the 5 freeway out there. What is a phone number if they want to try to get a hold of you?
Our phone number is 661-295-2025. And for those of you who like to go on the internet, you can visit our website at oakmontofsantaclarita.com.
Can they get a tour there?
They can get a tour.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
We're very excited because we're going to be celebrating our 1-year anniversary next Wednesday.
Congratulations.
So, very exciting.
Mary Demkowski, thank you for being on the show again. Thank you for bringing this important information for our seniors. Coming up next, we have Kevin McCarthy from the Senior Center, who's the new executive director. We'll be talking to him about what we plan to see in 2017. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio on your hometown station AM 1220 KHTS.